Welcome to Mindset Mondays, the bite-sized podcast designed to build a happier, healthier headspace. Think of it as a learning snack for your morning commute to set your week up right. I'm Mark Holloway, and today we're talking about response over reaction. So let me start with some simple questions. Have you ever sent a message you instantly regretted? Have you ever snapped at someone you love, not because of them, but because of the day you've had? Have you ever overreacted emotionally, only to think later, that wasn't really who I want to be? If so, you're human. Today's episode is about one of the most powerful skills we can develop for a good and meaningful life, choosing response over reaction. Because while we don't always control what happens to us, we do have influence over how we respond, and that influence shapes our relationships, our careers, and our inner peace. Reaction versus response. Let's begin by clarifying the difference. A reaction is automatic. It's fast, emotional, and driven by habit or threat. A response is intentional. It involves a pause, a choice, alignment with who you want to be. Reactions come from the nervous system, especially when we feel stressed, judged, rushed, or unsafe. Responses come from awareness. Here's the key insight. Your first impulse is not a failure of character. It's biology. But your second choice? That's where growth lives. Choosing response over reaction doesn't mean suppressing emotions or becoming passive. It means creating space between stimulus and action, space where wisdom can step in. So why does this matter so much? Because reactions often cost us. They cost trust in relationships. They can cost credibility at work. They can cost energy, clarity, and self-respect. When we live in reaction mode, life feels like it's happening to us. But when we respond, we communicate more clearly, we recover faster from stress, we act in line with our values and not our moods. Over time, this builds something powerful, self-trust. You begin to believe that no matter what happens, I can handle myself. And that belief is deeply freeing. So here's a simple but transformative mindset shift. From, I must react right now, to, I can pause, and pausing is strength. Let me give you a practical tool called the 3-breath pause. This is a simple but effective breathing technique. It's not my technique, I certainly didn't develop it, but I do use it. Whenever you feel triggered, emotionally charged, defensive, or overwhelmed, do this. Stop. Stop speaking or acting. Then take 3 slow breaths. Inhale, taking a deep breath through the nose for 4 counts. Pause for 1 count, and then exhale slowly through pursed lips for around 8 counts. And then repeat that 3 times. Note, the extended exhale is crucial in this, as it activates the vagus nerve, signaling it is safe to relax. Then ask yourself one question. What response would I respect myself for later? And that's it. Those 3 breaths interrupt the automatic reaction loop and bring the thinking part of your brain back online. You're not avoiding the issue, you're choosing how to meet it. Changing reaction to response. Remember, responses are intentional, in line with our values, who we want to be, and how we want to show up. You can practice this with low-stakes moments. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when an email irritates you, when your plans change unexpectedly. Small pauses build a powerful habit, and like any habit, practice builds improvement. Here's another shift that works beautifully. Name it to tame it. Again, not my technique. My understanding is it was first developed by a Dr. Dan Siegel to help individuals manage their emotions. The practice activates the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher cognitive functions, helping calm the emotional response and improve decision-making. So, when emotions rise, silently label what you're feeling. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling defensive. The research shows that naming an emotion reduces its intensity, which promotes emotional regulation. It moves you from being the emotion to observing it, which creates distance from the feeling. You're no longer saying, I am angry. You're saying, I'm noticing anger. And noticing creates space for choice. And by definition, once we have choice, we can again respond in a way consistent with our values and who we would want to be. Choosing response over reaction isn't about perfection. You will still react sometimes, and that's okay. The real practice is repair, reflecting afterwards, apologising when needed, learning what triggered you. Each moment becomes feedback, not failure. Over time, and with practice, hopefully you'll notice fewer emotional spirals, calmer conversations, and greater confidence in handling life's challenges. And perhaps most importantly, you'll start living in alignment with who you want to be, not just how you feel in the moment. So as you move into this week, I'll leave you with this reflection. Between what happens and what you do next, there is a choice, and in that choice lives your freedom. Practice the pause, name the emotion, choose the response you can stand behind. That's where growth happens. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me on Mindset Mondays today. If this episode resonated, take one small moment this week to pause and notice the difference it makes. And remember, I'm not offering counselling, psychiatric or medical advice here. By all means, further research topics covered in my podcast, and of course, if you have significant concerns about your mental health, discuss these with a professional. Until next time, be intentional, be kind to yourself, and keep growing. See you in the next episode.